Before empires carved their borders. Before Crusaders marched. Before secret societies shaped the world from candlelit chambers. One man held a power so vast, so terrifying, that even the spirits of fire trembled before his voice. He was Solomon, not the gentle king from children's tales, but the ruler spoken of in forbidden manuscripts. The master of winds. The jailer of the djinn. And the keeper of knowledge humanity was never meant to hear. Across deserts, temples, and ruined fortresses, legends whisper that Solomon did more than build a kingdom. They say he carved tunnels beneath Jerusalem with the hands of enslaved spirits. That he unlocked the language of creation. And that he sealed away beings who could bend reality itself. For centuries, priests, conquerors, and monarchs searched for the remnants of his wisdom. But only one brotherhood claimed to hold fragments of it. Builders, architects, custodians of hidden symbols. The ones who would one day be known as the Freemasons. And here lies the mystery. Every rise and fall of world powers, the Crusaders, the Ottomans, the Colonizers, even the occult hunters of the 20th century, all trace their path back to a single point in history. To a king whose shadow still lies beneath stone and sand. Tonight, we follow the trail that begins in the smoky chambers of ancient Jerusalem and stretches into modern governments, secret rituals, and whispered prophecies. The trail of a legacy so dangerous that every empire tried to control it. Every religion tried to hide it. And every secret society still protects it. This is the hidden story of Solomon. The djinn he commanded. The societies that inherited his forbidden wisdom. And the silent war being fought for it, or even today. Solomon and the covenant of the djinn. They say that long before the rise of Greek philosophers, long before Rome marched across continents, Solomon ruled not only through wisdom, but through dominion over worlds humanity fears to name. Ancient Arabian texts describe a night when the skies over Jerusalem aglowed like hammered gold, ere a wind unlike any earthly wind circled the king's chamber. In that swirling storm, 7 djinn, beings of smokeless fire, appeared before him, bound by rings of divine command. Solomon, Quranic and biblical alike, was granted a gift no other prophet or king possessed, the authority to speak the hidden tongue, Lisan al-Malak, a language older than stars. With it, he forged a covenant, one that chained rebellious djinn to his service and placed their power beneath a single seal, the famed Solomonic ring, etched with symbols still whispered in esoteric circles. From that moment, legends claim, entire structures rose overnight. Walls shifted like clay. Stones floated as if carried by unseen hands. And tunnels, deep, winding, impossibly precise, were carved beneath the early mount that would one day cradle the dome of the rock and Al-Aqsa. But where history meets myth is where danger begins. For these tunnels did not simply store treasures, they guarded tablets inscribed with celestial lores and knowledge of creation itself. Knowledge said to warp the mind of any ordinary human. And so Solomon placed his djinn as watchers beneath the earth, sealing chambers the world has never fully rediscovered. Yet, over the centuries, empires rose, fell, and rose again. Conquerors whispered the same forbidden rumor. Whoever controls Solomon's knowledge controls the fate of nations. From Babylonian magi to Crusader knights, from Ottoman mystics to the earliest architects of secret brotherhoods, all sought fragments of the Prophet King's forbidden legacy. And some claim they found them. The Crusaders and the forbidden descent beneath Jerusalem. When the Crusaders stormed Jerusalem in 1099, blood ran through the streets, but their leaders marched with another hunger, one far older than their holy banners. In the dim-lit tents of their command posts, commanders whispered of a hidden vault beneath the Temple Mount, a chamber carved by Solomon himself, guarded not by soldiers, but by beings that feared only divine authority. Chroniclers of the era wrote of 9 warriors who separated from the main crusading host, 9 knights who rejected glory and riches. Instead, they settled in the ruins of the Elixir compound, claiming to protect pilgrims. But the truth, preserved only in secret papal letters, tells a darker mission. These knights, who would become the legendary Knights Templar, were granted permission to excavate beneath the Holy Mount. For 9 years, they vanished into the earth at dawn and returned at dusk covered in dust and fear. Their records speak of chambers whose walls hummed at their touch, of symbols no priest could decipher, and of sealed stone doors that opened only when touched with certain metal rumored to be forged in Solomon's era. And then, something changed. In the winter of 1127, the 9 knights abruptly ended their digging. They left Jerusalem transformed, richer, secretive, and suddenly indispensable to Europe's monarchs. No one knew what they found, but every chronicler agreed. They carried out more than gold. Some say they recovered fragments of the Solomonic key, a text detailing the command of spirits, knowledge forbidden to mortals. Others believe they found tools forged for the djinn, a compass unlike any compass, a square used to measure celestial angles, and a ring of polished stone inscribed with the same sigils found on ancient Ethiopian relics. Whatever they retrieved allowed the Templars to rise from obscure monks to the most powerful order in Europe, answering to no king and fearing no throne. Rumor spread in hushed taverns and among Islamic scholars alike. The Templars uncovered Solomon's secret and rebuilt their brotherhood around it. Their rites changed. Their architecture transformed. And empires began to reshape themselves around a knowledge whispered to be heavenly or infernal. But the Solomonic legacy did not fade with the Templars. It simply found new custodians. Next came a group who called themselves not warriors, but builders. The Masons and the Solomonic blueprint. When the Templars were dissolved in 1312, kings celebrated, believing they had finally crushed the order that defied crowns and papal decrees. But power built upon ancient knowledge never dies, it simply changes form. In the shadows of Europe's cathedrals and rising cities, a new brotherhood emerged, men who called themselves a Freemasons, a free builders, yet their works hinted at a lineage far older than stonemasonry. Their meeting halls displayed the same forbidden symbols found in Templar ruins. Their rituals invoked the great architect, a title historians traced back not to Christianity, but to the ancient builders of Solomon's temple. Researchers began to notice patterns. Great cathedrals, Chartres, Rosslyn, Cologne, were constructed with geometric ratios identical to descriptions in the Sefer Melachim, texts detailing Solomon's original temple design. The Masons built with astonishing precision, as if following a blueprint not seen for 1,000 years. According to one controversial manuscript hidden in the Vatican archive, the early Masons possessed a relic the Church desperately tried to suppress, a brass-bound chest containing fragments of scrolls retrieved by the 9 Templars beneath Jerusalem. These scrolls reportedly described the celestial geometry revealed to Solomon by the djinn, the mathematics of creation, sacred angles, and the language of construction capable of channeling energy through stone. Legends claim the Masons rediscovered the ability to build structures that breathe, buildings aligned perfectly with solstices, magnetic flows, and star paths. Structures that hum with a low resonance, detectable even today. But the most whispered claim is this: the Masons inherited the Solomonic mandate, knowledge of how to bind chaos through architecture. Their symbols, the compass, the square, the all-seeing eye, were not mere tools. They were fragments of a lost system once used to control the unseen realms. And as their influence grew, kings and empires began to notice. By the 17th century, Masonic lodges were filled not with builders, but with nobles, explorers, alchemists, and early scientists, all seeking the same thing the Crusaders once had: Solomon's forbidden wisdom. a wisdom believed to shape governments, guide revolutions, and even influence the birth of modern nations. But the Masons were not the last to seek it. In the dark years of the 20th century, a new power fixated on Solomon's legacy, one far more ruthless than the Crusaders, and far more obsessed with occult truth than any medieval brotherhood. The Nazi hunt for Solomon's forbidden power. As the world descended into the firestorm of the Second World War, a strange division moved in the shadows of the Nazi regime, the Ahnenerbe, Hitler's occult research branch. While tanks rolled across Europe, the secret order carried a very different mission: to recover ancient artifacts believed to grant supernatural power. Among their most coveted targets was the legacy of King Solomon. Declassified Allied documents mention a series of expeditions to Jerusalem, Ethiopia, and Yemen, all under the guise of archaeological research. But eyewitnesses whispered a darker truth. The Nazis were searching for the Solomonic ring, the key of the djinn, and scrolls believed to grant dominion over the invisible realms. In 1938, an Ahnenerbe unit allegedly entered tunnels beneath the old city of Jerusalem, using maps stolen from British archives, maps originally sketched during the Ottoman excavations. These tunnels were rumored to descend deeper than any modern survey could confirm, some ending abruptly at stone doors etched with ancient symbols resembling those found in Templar archives. Several Nazi explorers returned disturbed, claiming they heard whispering wind in corridors with no airflow, saw shadows move against walls without a light source, and felt any electric pressure is similar to standing beneath a storm. But one record stands out. A private journal kept by SS officer Friedrich Heller describes discovering a sealed chamber perfectly smooth, as if carved by no tool known to man. In its center stood a hexagonal pillar with inscriptions matching those found in Freemasonic rites, symbols he believed were remnants of Solomon's original geometry. Then the journal ends abruptly. Heller never resurfaced. His entire unit vanished beneath the city, silenced by stone or something older. After the war, Allied forces recovered crates of Ahnenerbe notes, including a chilling hypothesis that Solomon used divine knowledge to bind energies or spirits, and that traces of this system still existed beneath Jerusalem, embedded within the architecture itself. The Nazis failed to unlock the secret, but they confirmed what secret societies had whispered for centuries. Solomon's power was real, and parts of it remained hidden, waiting. But the story doesn't end in the 20th century. In modern times, archaeologists, intelligence agencies, and secret societies still circle Jerusalem like moths around a flame, all searching for the same forbidden trail. A trail leading to a prophecy, and to a queen whose arrival was foretold long before Europe even existed. The modern veil and the prophecy of the Queen of Sheba. Today, satellites map every inch of the earth, armies guard its borders, and intelligence agencies claim to know every whisper that moves across a city. Yet beneath Jerusalem, under layers of stone, ruins, and sealed corridors, lies a world that modern technology still cannot penetrate. Archaeologists report chambers where drones lose signal, compasses fail, and radio waves collapse as if swallowed by an invisible force. Israeli, Jordanian, and international teams have surveyed the area, but certain tunnels remain forbidden, blocked by unexplained energy fields or sealed by massive stones no machinery can dislodge. Some quietly admit Solomon's architecture is still alive. But it isn't only scientists circling the mountain. Freemasons hold private pilgrimages to the old city, tracing the layout of Solomon's blueprint using symbols not found in any public ritual. Intelligence agencies monitor unusual activity beneath the Western Wall. And scholars from the Horn of Africa arrive with ancient scrolls written in GEZ, texts claiming Solomon's final prophecy lies not in Jerusalem, but in the kingdom of Sheba. According to Ethiopian tradition, Solomon entrusted a secret to Queen Makeda, a secret greater than the Ark of the Covenant. One that foretold a time when the world would fracture into confusion, when hidden societies would wrestle for control, and when humanity would seek answers in the ruins of its earliest kings. Some believe this prophecy is tied to a bloodline, others to a lost artifact. A few whisper that Makeda herself descended into the tunnels beneath the temple before returning to her homeland, guided by the djinn who once served Solomon. Modern historians dismiss this as myth, but intelligence leaks, intercepted communications, and private Masonic writings suggest otherwise. There is something connecting Solomon to Sheba. Something buried. Something waiting. And every shadow organization, from archaeologists funded by private foundations, to Masonic lodges, to governments with silent interests, is moving closer to uncovering it. But the story of Solomon is only the beginning. And so, the mystery of Solomon doesn't end beneath Jerusalem's ancient stones. For beyond the deserts, across the Red Sea, lies a kingdom woven from gold, incense, and prophecy. A land ruled by a queen whose beauty shaped empires, and whose meeting with Solomon changed the fate of the world. If you think tonight's secrets were forbidden, wait until you hear what Sheba carried back to her throne. Her story begins where Solomon's ends.